What's up, guys? Welcome to this edition of a Funko Popcast. I am DK Wrestler.
And I'm MD Shady.
And in today's podcast, it is an all Funko Sodas edition of a Funko Podcast. We know that you guys do enjoy those editions of a Funko Podcast, and we thought in 2023 we would kind of talk about Funko Sodas in quarters. So basically, today would be anything from quarter one of 2023. We're already pretty much 3 months into 2023. Pretty crazy. And there's a decent amount of Funko Sodas to talk about from January, February, and March. Mind you, we are still in the month of March as of recording this, yet this will be released at some point in April. But we're still obviously going to talk about some cool Funko Soda figures. So without further ado, we might as well kick off with the first set of Funko Sodas, which all were announced in January. So the first Funko Soda figure that was announced was a part of the Disney 100th anniversary set, which is of Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, which has a black and white chase and was limited to 15,000 pieces. And I should have mentioned that was announced on January 4th. Then on January 7th, Box Lunch had announced their own exclusive sodas of Alfredo Linguini and Chef Colette from Ratatouille, which Alfredo Linguini has a chase of him with Remy, and then he's holding a pan also, and then Chef Colette has her arms crossed in her chase. Both of them, I believe, are limited to 12,000 pieces. Then on January 18th, it was day one of Funko Fair 2023, which the set of sodas we're looking at right now for here are Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which we got ourselves sodas of Star-Lord, Nebula, Rocket, Groot, Drax, and then exclusive sodas of Mantis, Cosmos, and Adam Warlock, which Mantis is going to Target, Cosmos is going to Walmart, Cosmos is going to Amazon, and then Adam Warlock is going to Walmart, and all of those Funko Soda figures will not have a limited piece count. And then on January 25th, that was day two of Funko Fair 2023, which we have various sodas from various licensors, which we got ourselves Dr. Ian Malcolm from Jurassic Park, which has an injured chase, limited to 15,000 pieces. Andy Dwyer from Parks and Recreation with glasses as the chase, which is limited to 12,500 pieces. Batman from the 60s animated show with a pink mask chase, limited to 15,000 pieces. Steve Harrington from Stranger Things, which has glasses and gloves for the chase, limited to 15,000 pieces. And then last but not least, we have ourselves a 3-liter Groot from the I Am Groot series, which has a translucent chase and will be a Funko Shop exclusive, limited to 10,000 pieces. So I guess kicking off with the Oswald the Lucky Rabbit Funko Soda, I think this is not too bad. I mean, you got a color switch and it's got a little bit of a different hand positioning where obviously he is waving with the one hand for the common and then he is holding flowers for the chase. So I think that's pretty decent. And then making it black and white also, I feel like that's kind of a way to be like, okay, I like the way the common looks in terms of the color, but I like the fact that it's holding something for the chase. So you might want to get multiples, but I think I'd be fine with just the common though. Then we got ourselves some more Ratatouille Funko Sodas, which is pretty interesting. We already got Remy with the flock chase, and now we have Alfredo Linguini and Chef Colette, which, if I'm not mistaken, one thing I do like about Funko Sodas a lot, and I think this follows the trend, is that Funko will make characters they have not made into pops yet into sodas first, which is an example of Chef Colette, who has not had a Funko Pop yet. I do like the Linguini soda better just because I feel like you're satisfied with either the common or the chase. I mean, the common, he's holding Remy regardless, but then you also with the chase have the pan, and Remy is also holding what I believe to be is the spoon, I think it is, or it's another pan. I can't exactly tell. My photo is blurry thanks to Facebook Messenger right now, but I'm a little disappointed on the chase for Chef Colette though. You're kind of like taking away an object from her, while I feel like they should have reversed it where her arms are crossed for the common. Then we got ourselves the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 Funko Sodas, and these are not too bad. I mean, I will explain later on my opinion about no-piece Funko Soda figures, but for what we have here for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, these aren't too bad. I like some of the chases. I don't like some of the chases. I'm a fan of the Drax. I like the idea of like the common one, obviously just being menacing Drax with the knives in his hands, and then just like casual funny Drax as the chase where he is eating a bag of chips. So I think that's pretty funny that they kind of did that. We got the Steve Harrington from Stranger Things. I felt like this is a soda that they could have done a little bit better for a common in the chase, but it's cool that we do have Steve Harrington, and I'm sure MD's ecstatic because I believe Steve is his favorite character in Stranger Things, so I'm sure he's going to want to get both the common and the chase for that, but I just felt like they could have done something better. And then something that I feel like is actually worse than this one is the Andy Dwyer, mainly because clearly in this Andy Dwyer, he is dressed up as Burt Macklin, but all they did was both of them, the common and the chase, are Burt Macklin. Is just one's wearing glasses, one's not. Whereas I felt like with this Funko Soda, they should have pulled off exactly what they did with the Ron Swanson one, where it's just regular Ron Swanson for the common, and then they did Snake Juice Ron Swanson as the chase. If they would have done regular Andy Dwyer, let's say with like him holding the guitar as the common, and then Burt Macklin as the chase, I think it would have been a much better soda than it is. And then we got ourselves the Batman Funko Soda, which is not too bad. I think it actually might be my favorite Funko Soda out of the 4 sodas that we're looking at here, just because I not only am intrigued by the pink mask change, but also the fact that he's holding the Batarang in his hand for the chase. I think that's pretty cool. And then the Dr. Ian Malcolm, it's cool, but I hate it at the same time because if you're injured, why would you be standing up? Like, I feel like for this to actually be pulled off, he would have to be in that like injured pose that you've seen with Funko Pops also. So I don't know why they just basically kept the mold and then just basically had him. Like, I understand it's a memorable scene, but it just doesn't make sense when you have this soda standing up. Shouldn't they've done a pose where maybe he's laying down, but then like, you know, that with the soda figure, you got to tilt it over instead of sticking it up. But maybe that's the reason why they didn't do that. But I don't know. There's just something a little bit off about the Dr. Ian Malcolm soda. And then we have ourselves the 3-liter Groot soda, which I don't know how I feel about this. I feel like it makes sense in a way that Groot is a 3-liter soda because he's been like baby Groot, he's been giant Groot, he's been teenage Groot, which is like in between. But I think in this case, he's still baby Groot. I think they should have saved it for bigger Groot for a 3-liter. But at the same time, I mean, we've seen this kind of thing done with like smaller characters before. I like it, but I don't at the same time. And I'm not sure how I feel about a translucent chase either.
All right, starting off with Oswald, this is pretty cool. I like the difference between the common and the chase. Black and white is cool for the chase, as well as giving him the flowers in the hand, so it is a little bit different, so that is good. Then moving on to the new sodas for Ratatouille with Chef Colette and Alfredo Linguini. These are both pretty cool. I like the Chef Colette, but I do feel like, yeah, the chase is very lackluster of just having the arms crossed. That easily could have been the common. Overall, they're both not the greatest with the common and the chase, but it is really cool to see Chef Colette in some kind of Funko product. And then the Alfredo Linguini, this one is pretty cool. The common is nice how you get Remy there with him, which is awesome. And then with the chase, the pans are cool. He has the little chef hat on as well, which is awesome. I'm not sure if that's the case with the common or not. Yeah, overall, they're both pretty cool. And like DK said, you can get either one of these and be pretty satisfied. And then with the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff, these are all pretty good. I don't feel like there's one chase that's like the greatest out of all these. They're all pretty just meh, in my opinion, for chases. But overall, there's a lot of figures here to collect, especially if you are a fan of Guardians of the Galaxy. So that's pretty cool. And then we have Steve Harrington, and yeah, I do like this because Steve Harrington is my favorite character from Stranger Things. This definitely could have been better. I would have loved to have seen a season 1 version of Steve in Funko Soda form where he's basically just be his normal attire, and then the chase could be him kind of battle damage and having the spiked baseball bat, but this is okay as well. I kind of just wish we would have seen maybe 2 different versions of Steve with the one soda. The Andy Dwyer, yeah, that's not the greatest. It feels like a cop-out of just putting the glasses on the figure, so that's not too great. The Batman's kind of cool with the pink mask. I like that, as well as the Batarang that he has in his hand. That's pretty cool. I definitely really enjoy the comment and the chase for that figure. And then with Dr. Ian Malcolm, yeah, this seems weird how he is standing for the chase. They probably could have done it where he was laying down sideways. I mean, he would still be able to fit into the can most likely, and it would be very different than any other Funko Soda we've seen before. And then lastly, we have the 3-liter Groot. And yeah, this is okay. I feel like if we're going to get a 3-liter Groot, I would have rather have just seen it been plain Groot, maybe not with these like pajamas that he has on and with this expression. I would have liked to see maybe just something more plain. And then with the chase, not only is it a different molding, but it is translucent. So that's okay. Obviously, it makes sense for I am Groot, but I don't know. I think this could have been avoided.
All right, so now we're pretty much moving on to the February announcements plus the WonderCon reveals, since there wasn't that many for February. But starting off with February 1st was the final day of Funko Fair 2023, which had one Funko Soda announced, and that was of Marty McFly from Back to the Future, which has the iridescent holographic hat Chase and is limited to 15,000 pieces. Then on February 10th, retailers such as Entertainment Earth had confirmed Funko Soda figures of Shoto Todoroki from My Hero Academia with a metallic chase and will be limited to 12,500 pieces, and a bedtime bear from Care Bears, which will have a flock chase limited to 7,500 pieces. Then on February 22nd, Funko had announced sodas of Captain America from Avengers Endgame, which the chase is metallic and a broken shield and will be exclusive to Entertainment Earth, limited to 20,000 pieces. And then they announced a soda of the frontman from Squid Game, which will have an unmasked chase with a blaster and is limited to 12,000 pieces. And then last but not least for this section are the WonderCon exclusive sodas, which listed here we have the 3-liter Queen from the Disney Villains lineup with an apple chase, which is limited to 7,500 pieces. Bugs Bunny as Superman with a flock chase, which will be limited to 10,000 pieces. Snagglepuss from Hanna-Barbera, which will also have a flock chase and is limited to 2,500 pieces. And then Valkyrie for the Marvel lineup, which has a glow-in-the-dark chase and will be shared with Entertainment Earth as a part of a WonderCon exclusive, but the others will be shared with the Funko Shop, and this one will be limited to 11,000 pieces. So kicking off with Marty McFly for the February / part of March announcements. I like this, but I don't like this. I like this, of course, because Back to the Future is one of my favorite movie franchises of all time. It's one of my favorite sets to collect pops of. So to hear that there's going to be Funko Sodas now is really cool, but I just am not entirely a fan of how they went about making the common and the chase. You could have had two different time periods for the common and the chase. Like, let's say 1985 Marty for the common and then like 2015 Marty for the chase, kind of like what we have for both the common and the chase being 2015 Marty McFly, instead of just the exact same molding for the common, except you're slapping the iridescent holographic hat onto the chase. Then we got ourselves Shoto Todoroki from My Hero Academia, and I am pumped about this because when they started making My Hero Academia sodas, I was like, man, I don't have a pop of Shoto Todoroki. He's actually my favorite hero in the series, so it would be really cool if they made him in soda form. And I'm not mad that it's a metallic chase, but I am at the same time considering they have made the metallic chase or metallic version as a pop before. But I think this would have been a cool idea to kind of add a little bit more molding to it. And especially it could have been metallic and glow in the dark. You could have done metallic for maybe like the ice portion, but then glow in the dark for the fire portion, since he did adopt both of his parents' quirks. So I think that would have been really cool, especially adding some sort of like base or effect to it to where you actually see more. Like, I mean, you do see the ice coming out of the one side of the arm and then the flame coming out of the hand, but what if there's like a cool base that goes involved with this where you see both of those elements involved? I think that'd be really cool, but nonetheless, I think this would be a Funko Soda that I'm going to pick up, especially not caring about the chase so much, so where if I get the common, that's it. I don't need to go out and buy another. And then we got ourselves the bedtime bear from Care Bears, and this is not too bad. Obviously, it makes sense for it to be a flocked chase. Then we got ourselves Captain America, which this is really cool. We already had the original Captain America for the Marvel Comics lineup as a soda, but now we have Avengers Endgame Captain America, and this is really cool. I like the effect of the metallic portion for the outfit, and I do like the detail involved to where they also have the shield partially broken. I think that is pretty sweet, and that is a soda where, like, I feel if I were to get this, yeah, the chase definitely is the one that I feel like would be better out of the two. Although the common still looks pretty decent, that chase is just pretty sweet though. And then once again, like I mentioned with Chef Colette, another example of a character that Funko has not made a pop for yet, but they have made a soda for now, and that is the front man, which is really interesting. I don't know how I feel about this though, considering that I feel if I were to get this, I'd be fine with just the common because that's normally how you see the look of the front man throughout the series, besides near the end, obviously, where he does unmask himself. But it's still pretty cool that they did make this into a soda, and especially making it a soda before making it a pop. Then we got the WonderCon exclusive Funko soda figures, starting off with the 3-liter Queen. I've mentioned this in a few videos already, but why did they have to make the Queen as a 3-liter soda of all things? It would make sense if they made it a regular soda, but to make it a 3-liter is so weird, and especially like there's so many other characters that they could make in soda form that fit the mold of a 3-liter, but this just does not make sense. Maybe they did it because they wanted to bring out the details of the object she has in both the common and the chase, but still then it just, I don't know. I don't think it would have made much of a difference. Then we got Bugs Bunny as Superman. This is not too bad. This is a lot of people's, I guess, fan favorite soda when it comes to this Comic-Con, which actually happens this Friday as we're recording this. But of course, WonderCon would have happened as this releases already. I wish there was a more regular Bugs Bunny soda, but I do understand why they did it, and that's because obviously Warner Brothers 100th anniversary, they're mixing Looney Tunes and DC Comics to mesh both Warner Brothers properties, plus they already made the Funko Pop of this a year or two ago, so I guess it does make sense, and I'm sure there will be a Bugs Bunny regular soda eventually, especially if they dabble back into the 6-pack sodas. I think that would be when they execute that. Then we got Snagglepuss from Hanna-Barbera. And this is pretty interesting, especially because you have a super low piece count of 2,500 pieces, which we haven't gotten this low of a Funko soda with a chase since I believe WonderCon 2 years ago when we had the Slee stack and it was only limited to 1,500 pieces. So this is interesting. I do like the chase for it not only being flocked because flock is awesome, but also adding the addition of the hat and a different posing. So I really like how they did that, especially for a super limited piece soda. And then we got ourselves the Valkyrie Funko soda with the glow-in-the-dark chase. This one's meh. I think they could have done something a little bit better with this, whether it is a different posing, they could have done a color switch with her attire, or even maybe do metallic specification possibly because of the weapon that she has in her hand. But there's just something about this where I just felt, why did it need to be glow-in-the-dark? I just don't think that really makes sense, in my opinion.
Yeah, starting off with Marty McFly, I got to agree with DK on this one. I mean, it's really cool to see Marty McFly in soda form, but there's not a whole lot of difference between with the hat off or the hat on. So I think they could have pulled off something really, really cool with that chase. I do like the chase. The chase is cool with the hat, but yeah, it's kind of the same thing with the Steve. It's just not enough for a character that's so cool. But yeah, I probably will end up buying one of these as well to get a Marty soda into the collection. And then we have Todoroki, and this is pretty sweet. Todoroki is a really cool character, and I think the soda looks pretty good as well. I definitely think there should have been some type of glow-in-the-dark aspect to this, and maybe a little bit of a change with the chase as well, just besides a specification change. Then the bedtime bear, this is okay. It makes sense to be flocked. I think that maybe there could have been something else going on with it as well, just besides the flocking, but it is a pretty cool chase to look for. And then we have Captain America, and yeah, that chase is wicked. The metallic looks really nice on it, as well as the damaged shield looks cool as well. I definitely think that the chase is what you want to go for if you're collecting this soda. And then the front man from Squid Game, this is okay. I definitely think this will be a bit of a shelf sitter just because the Squid Game pops, they are sitting on shelves at like Dollarama, let's say here in Canada. But it's not bad. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's the first time we've got the front man, so that's decent. But yeah, you're definitely not gonna, unless you happen to be like some huge fan of Squid Game, And then we have the Queen in the 3-liter soda. And yeah, I agree with DK again. This does not need to be a 3-liter. It could have easily have been just a normal size soda. And we could be saving some of the 3-liter sodas for characters that really do make sense to be a larger figure. But overall, this is a pretty cool figure. I like the difference between the common and the chase with the apple there. That's pretty cool. But yeah, if this was a normal soda, I probably would buy it. But it being a 3-liter, I don't see myself buying this. And then we have the Bugs Bunny as Superman, and this is pretty cool. The flock chase makes sense. I do wish maybe that there was a posing change, whether it is just like the arm sticking out like the Superman pose, or even just the addition of maybe a carrot or something like that. But yeah, if I can get my hands on one of these sodas, I definitely will be picking it up. And if I get the common or the chase, I don't really care too much. Of course, it would be nice to get that flock chase. And then we have Snagglepuss, and this is actually a really solid soda, and the low piece count makes sense because that chase is going to be pretty dang valuable considering there'd be at 2,500 pieces, 400 pieces. I don't know if that math is correct, but somewhere around there for the chase. And the chase is awesome. I mean, flocked, a different pose. He has the hat on. Both the common and the chase are really awesome, but that chase is definitely going to be a valuable piece. So again, if I can get this soda on my hands, I'll definitely try to get one and hopefully get that chase. And then we have Valkyrie, and yeah, this is pretty lackluster. I mean, just a glow chase. Definitely not enough for a figure like this. And again, I think this will probably be the one soda, at least out of these four for WonderCon, that doesn't sell the greatest.
And now looking at the rest of March 2023's Funko Soda figures. And I mean, as we're recording this, there could be more sodas still announced for the month of March. But if there so happens to be, we'll just move it over to the next time that we do a Funko Soda podcast, which will probably be July, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll mention it then if that's the case. But starting off with the next set of Funko Soda figures announced on March 8th, we have Funko Sodas for What If, which we have ourselves Captain Carter with a hooded chase. We got Kahori with a glow in the dark and glitter chase, and then Hella with a glow in the dark chase, which will be exclusive to Amazon, and these will be no piece count sodas. Then on March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, also our buddy Robbie D's birthday, we have ourselves a set of sodas for the upcoming DC Comics film Shazam Fury of the Gods, which we have ourselves soda figures of Pedro Pena, Shazam, Darla Dudley, and Freddie Freeman with exclusive sodas of Athena with a metallic chase exclusive to Walmart, and Calypso, which has a metallic chase exclusive to Amazon. And once again, these will be no piece count sodas. And then announced yesterday as we're recording this podcast, retailers such as Entertainment Earth had announced Funko Soda figures of Darth Maul from Star Wars with a holographic chase, which will be limited to 20,000 pieces. And then Raya from Raya and the Last Dragon, that has a weapons chase and will be limited to 12,500 pieces. All right, so starting off with the What If Funko Sodas, and this is pretty interesting because I believe this is actually giving a bit of a teaser slash spoiler to the brand new season of What If. I actually enjoyed the first season of What If. I'm always a fan of, I guess, the question of what if something were to happen. So I really liked the idea of them doing certain things like the backstory of Captain Carter. What would happen if Peggy Carter got the serum and then boom, Captain Carter, and you got the backstory of that. So I really like that kind of alternate universe. The Captain Carter is not too bad. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they might have already done a Captain Carter Funko Soda. I can't exactly remember. It might have been in that first wave of Funko Soda figures for What If. And now I'm thinking, can you remember, did that also get announced during Funko Fair? Because if it did, we totally forgot to mention it. But I digress here. We got ourselves the other character of Kahori, which is like a brand new character I never even heard of. So this clearly is dabbling into a new season of What If, because I had not heard of this character previously. And I do like the idea of the chase being two specifications. And then we got Hela. Hela, people would have seen, I believe, in Thor Ragnarok as Thor's sister. So pretty interesting that she will be a part of the What If series. And I guess it does make sense for the glow in the dark chase because of her powers. And then we got ourselves the Shazam Fury of the Gods Funko Soda figures, and I'm not entirely too sure what to say about these. So this is where I'm going to mention about my opinion on no piece count sodas, which I mean, it does suck for the idea of no piece count sodas because then a lot of things won't be worth as much when you buy it. But obviously, I think they did that for the sake of them wanting to sell Funko Sodas at big box retailer stores like Walmart and Target, and especially Amazon, like we've seen with the Amazon exclusives. But I think there may be a plus side to this, and that this is only going to be, I guess, limited to like DC and Marvel, I believe. That's what we've gotten thus far, I believe, for the no piece count sodas. But I think after seeing some of these Shazam sodas, the plus side to it is that the chases would be pretty much crazy compared to what we see with the limited piece count sodas. Like we just talked about Marty McFly and how all they did for what would be a 15,000 piece soda is just by adding a hat to it, or with Steve Harrington adding gloves and glasses. While you look at characters like example Pedro, where he is this big buff superhero, and then his chase version is what I assume is him not superhero form, which is just a completely different mold. And then you got Shazam, whose character kind of looks like Sid from Toy Story with the skull t-shirt. And then I don't know about anyone else listening to this pod, but to me, Freddie Freeman, his chase looks a bit like Walt Jr. from Breaking Bad with the arm crutches. So if they were to make Walt Jr. into a Funko Soda, they could basically just copy that mold, and there you go, Walt Jr., except add another arm crutch to it. Oh, and I just realized also, I think I forgot to name off some other characters also. I think we got ourselves Eugene is the one character. Yeah, okay, so there's also some Funko Soda figures I forgot to mention. It's Eugene, and I can't tell whose name that says because, once again, the photo sent from Facebook Messenger just crapping the quality of the photo I'm looking at. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves. I'll start off actually with Rhea first and then go into Darth Maul. So, Rhea isn't too bad. This is kind of unexpected because I'm surprised they're still even making merchandise for this movie. It's all right, I guess. But then that Darth Maul is sweet. I love the idea of them doing the holographic chases for the Star Wars sodas, especially when you make the molding pretty much different compared to what you see with the common. Although the common is fire, Darth Maul, you see his full head with the spikes coming out, the double-sided lightsaber and his black cloak, but then you do have holographic Darth Maul with the lightsaber not ignited, his hood is up, and of course, I mean, it's holographic, so it's basically a different color, but it still looks wicked. So, I mean, this could be a soda that possibly get multiples of to get the common and the chase. I'd be fine with just the common, but yeah, this is pretty sweet.
Okay, so we have new sodas for What If, and I'm actually kind of liking the Captain Carter. I like the chase, how it has the hood up as well as the cape. I think that that's pretty decent for a chase. The, what's her name, Kahori there, that's okay as well, as long as the glow looks good, and depending on how the glitter looks as well. It's always cool when you see two different specifications, especially for a chase. Then we have the Hela or Gila, and this could be okay as well. It's kind of hard to tell what's going on with the photo of the chase because it's darkened to show the glow in the dark, but I feel like that will be a decent chase as well. And then we have the sodas for Shazam, and yeah, it's interesting with the no piece count thing. It's weird because you kind of want to see a piece count. That's kind of how sodas work, is that they're a little bit more limited, so that really makes you want to chase for, of course, the chase. But with the Shazam sodas, these are pretty insane chases. I'm guessing what it is it's like the younger versions of some of these characters. I don't know exactly all about Shazam, but completely different molds for every single figure here for the main ones, besides like the exclusives, and these are pretty crazy. This is what a lot of chases should look like, in my opinion, where it's a completely different mold, because that definitely makes you want to get both the common and the chase. If I was into Shazam, this would be a set that I would definitely want to collect all of these figures. And because it's no piece count, I guess that does make it a little bit more accessible to do. But yeah, I just don't know how I feel about the whole no piece count thing. And then I will move on to Rhea, and this is pretty cool. I might actually buy one of these if I find one in store. I did like the movie. I thought the movie was pretty good, so I'd be happy with just the common, though the chase isn't bad with the weapon in hand. And then lastly, we have Darth Maul, and this is wicked. I mean, this is awesome. Like, you have the common, which is Darth Maul himself there, double-sided blade, and he looks awesome. And then the chase makes so much sense to be the hologram, and he's got the hood up, which is awesome as well, and he still has his lightsaber in hand. So it's a completely different remold with the body and the head, which is awesome. And yeah, this is definitely a soda that I would potentially buy a whole case of just so that I can make sure that I get the common and the chase, though I do kind of like the common better.
All right. So before we end this podcast, we thought we would do a little top 5 list of our favorite Funko soda figures from essentially quarter 1 of 2023 announcements. And instead of doing the usual, what we do for our end of the month top 10 lists of going back and forth, I thought it'd be easier just for each of us to do our top 5 right from 5 to 1. So I'll start off with mine and then we'll end off with MD Shady's top 5 list. So starting off at number 5 for me would be the front man from Squid Game. I enjoy the fact that they're dabbling into characters they have not made Funko Pops of. But I do feel that with this kind of soda, it's one of those things where you kind of want the common more than you want the chase. Number 4 on my list is Alfredo Linguini, the box lunch exclusive from Ratatouille. I do enjoy that we're getting more Pixar Funko sodas, and I do like the difference between the common and the chase with this soda, which is why I enjoy this. I'm not sure if I'm going to get it, which is why it's not at least in the top 3 portion of this list. Coming in at number 3 is the Entertainment Earth exclusive Captain America from Avengers Endgame. I enjoy this Funko soda. I love the metallic and broken shield difference with the common and the chase. And this is a soda that I could potentially be getting, and especially our good boys over at K-Dog and Fish with their partnership with Entertainment Earth will be getting these in at some point. So if I do decide on getting that, I'll be able to get it through them, but it's nothing that I'm in a rush for at the moment. Coming in at number 2 would be the Darth Maul Funko Soda. I love how both the common and the chase are pretty much different, and especially with the different molding, which is pretty much what you want to see in a Funko Soda figure. This is one that I know I'll probably get one of. I might go and get the chase, but if I just get the common, I'll be fine with that. And then coming in at number 1, I got to go with Marty McFly just because I'm a huge fan of Back to the Future. I know 100% I will be getting this Funko Soda figure. Probably will also go after the chase, even though I'm not a fan of it. But it's the fact that I know I will be getting this Funko Soda and that I need this Funko Soda is why it would be number 1 on my list. So let's move over to MD Shady's top 5 list.
All right, yeah, not surprised by some of those sodas on your list. Moving on to my list, coming in at number 5, I have Marty McFly. I mean, yeah, it's a pretty cool soda. It's awesome to see that Marty now has a soda, and if you're to open one and you got that chase, I mean, very nice. I don't know if you necessarily need the chase so much where you want to open a bunch of them, but if you can do it on the first can, I mean, that's some good luck, and that's probably what you want to do. Moving on to number 4, I have the Bugs Bunny as Superman. This is pretty cool. I mean, I love Looney Tunes, and I'm really enjoying a lot of the different stuff that Warner Brothers is doing for the 100-year anniversary of Warner Brothers when they're kind of mashing up some of these different properties, whether it be through Funko or other different companies with some other products. But this Bugs Bunny is exactly like that, where it's Bugs Bunny and it's Superman. It looks really cool. The flock chase makes a lot of sense, and it's definitely one that I will at least pick up one can of. Coming in at number 3 on my list, I have Alfredo Linguini. This is really cool. I love the movie Ratatouille, so it's awesome to see this soda of both of them in one soda, which is awesome. Super great. The Chef Colette is pretty cool as well, but I think if I had to pick up one, though Chef Colette doesn't have a Funko Pop, I think I would have to go with the Alfredo Linguini because of how cool it looks and because the chase is definitely a lot better than that Chef Colette one. Moving on to number 2 on my list, I have Steve Harrington from Stranger Things. Just a matter of time before we got a Steve Harrington can. I definitely think it could have been better. It's not what I would have made if I was in charge of doing this, but at the same time, it's my favorite character from Stranger Things, and I'm definitely going to have to get both the common and the chase, though the chase is a little lackluster. And then finally, moving on to number 1, I have Darth Maul. I mean, this is a wicked soda. You have an awesome common where you don't feel pressured to go get that chase, but The chase itself is also really cool with the hologram. It's a completely different molding head to toe, which is perfect. And it makes a lot of sense if you're thinking of Darth Maul. They could have easily took the easy route out and just made it a hooded chase, but he's hooded. It's hologram. It's a completely different mold. The lightsaber is not ignited with that one, and it's really cool. And I definitely want to get both the common and the chase for this figure, so I knew it had to be at number one.
Anyways, guys, that's going to be the end of this edition of a Funko Popcast. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know your favorite Funko Soda that has been announced thus far in 2023, and we hope to see you guys on another edition of a Funko Popcast. 1, 2, 3, I'm out of here.
And what's up, Doc? Peace in, peace out.